Look, folks, life is actually very simple, really, very simple. If we don't force ourselves or our past, life flows on. The important thing is to adapt to this path without resistance. What we need is discipline and belief. There's something in quantum physics, the observer effect. The moment you observe something, you change its state, and you're doing that right now, but in the wrong direction. Every day you make a quantum leap, even when you wake up in the morning. But 3 seconds after that leap, you go back, because you're looking at the old reality, and that perspective erases the new reality. In this video, I'm going to give you a 48-hour protocol. And at the end of these 48 hours, quantum leaps will go out of theory for you, but only if you stay until the end of this video, because the last 2 minutes change everything. Part 1. You've already leaped, but you've gone back. Now let me tell you about a very simple experiment, a quantum physics experiment. You take an electron, you pass it through a slit. The electron passes through 2 places at once, just like a wave. But the moment you observe it, it fixes itself at a single point. It's no longer a wave. It's a particle at a single point. Your observation changes it. Now apply this to your life. Every morning you wake up. The moment of waking up is the 0 point. The brain hasn't fully opened yet. The past, the future, identity, everything is blurry. This is a quantum leap moment, because at that moment, you haven't yet chosen who you are. So what do you do 3 seconds later? You look at your phone, or the mirror, or the clock, and with that look, you say, "Ah, yes, this is who I am." The person you were yesterday becomes you again today. That's when the leap is canceled. But wait a minute. What if you had done something different in those 3 seconds? What if you had focused on the new reality instead of looking at the old reality? That's where the real quantum leap begins. Not in theory, but in practice. And most people never realize it. Now let me tell you something else. Every day you experience thousands of small leaps forward, but every time you come back, why? Because the brain is looking for something, evidence. It's looking to see if this is true. And everywhere it looks, it finds the old reality. Because that's what it's looking for. It's a paradox. As long as you're looking for evidence, you're canceling the leap to the new reality. Because the act of searching for evidence means accepting that the old reality is still active. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want a new job. You wake up in the morning, you're at a 0 point. For a moment, you feel like you're working at that job. But then what do? You check your phone? Let's see if I've received any messages. That's when you come back. Because the question, have I received any messages, contains the answer, I'm not there yet. This isn't just true for big things. It happens at every decision point, every thought point. The brain is constantly thinking, is it from here or there? And you're constantly answering from here, because you're observing from here. So what's the solution? The solution is to change the way you observe. But this isn't positive thinking. This is something much deeper. In the second part, we'll remove 3 obstacles, and each obstacle will open a springboard. Before we move on to the second part, I know this information has been helpful so far, and I hope you enjoyed the video so we can continue. Chapter 2. Removing the 3 leap barriers. Barrier 1. Searching for evidence. This is the biggest trap. Human nature demands evidence. Show me, then I'll believe. But this doesn't work in quantum leaping. because the act of searching for evidence locks you into the old reality. Think of it this way. Searching for evidence means saying, it hasn't happened yet. And this thought of it hasn't happened yet sends a signal to the brain. Stay in the old reality. And the brain obeys? So what do? Stop searching for evidence? No. Instead of evidence, you look for traces. There's a difference. A trace is a small change, a feeling, a coincidence, a moment. Something you say, wow, today was different. That's a trace. Not evidence, but a trace. Because evidence means completed, while a trace means begun. And when you see a trace, don't magnify it. Just note it. Say, interesting, and move on. Because the moment you focus on it, you're trying to turn it into evidence. And searching for evidence creates a setback. Obstacle 2. The question. How will it happen? This question kills the mind, literally. Because the moment you say, how will it happen? The brain enters problem-solving mode. And problem-solving mode means there is a problem right now. And that's when the old reality kicks in again. Because the brain says, I don't know how it will happen, so it can't happen. And the quantum leap is canceled. But now stop. In quantum physics, there is no such concept as how. An electron passes through two places at the same time. How? We don't know. But it passes. We observe it, it happens. The same thing applies to your life. You need to give up the question, how will it happen? Replace it with the sentence, it is happening right now. The sentence is finished. Period. No how. Just, it is happening. This is very difficult, but once you get used to it, it's very powerful. Because when the brain lets go of the how question, it opens up to infinite possibilities. And within those infinite possibilities, there is room for a quantum leap. Obstacle 3. Sticking to past identity. This is the most insidious one, because identity is a very deep place. The statement, this is who I am, is a structure built over the years. And changing that structure is what most people fear most. Imagine you are in your 30s and you realize something isn't right. You want to change, but things aren't right, which is normal because you've been unknowingly misprogrammed. Now, erasing that code and starting over isn't easy. It takes time, but it's possible. But understand this, your past identity is the anchor of your old reality. As long as you say, this is who I am, you cannot make a quantum leap. Because being like this means not being otherwise. So what is the solution? Not erasing the past. Being flexible with the past. Instead of saying I was like this, say I was like this. Now I am something else. And don't try to convince yourself when you say it. Just say it. The brain will hear it anyway. And when the brain hears it, it will start making small adjustments. When you remove these 3 obstacles, you create space for a quantum leap. But that alone isn't enough. A protocol is needed, and that protocol takes 48 hours. Chapter 3. The 48-hour Quantum Protocol. This protocol will last 2 days, but not just 2 days. It's a system that targets specific moments. Every moment is a starting point. Are you ready? Day 1, Hour 0, Awakening Moment Intervention. Tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, wait 10 seconds before opening your eyes. At that very moment, before you remember who you are, say a sentence to yourself. But this sentence is not, I want. It starts with now. Example, I am working at that job now. I am healthy now. I am free now. Just one sentence. Say it once. And then open your eyes. But don't look at your phone. Don't look in the mirror. Don't look at anything. Just carry that sentence. 30 seconds. That's it. It seems very simple, but it's very powerful because those first 10 seconds are the quantum zero point. And what you say at that point determines the frequency of the day. 1 to 2, day 2. Now. Phrases. Throughout the day, whenever the thought, I want, comes to mind, replace it with now. Just in your mind. You don't need to tell anyone, but change it every time. I want a car implies, I have a car now. I want to get better implies, I am getting better now. I want love implies, I am loved now. It's like a game, but this game recalibrates the brain because I want is the future tense, while now is the present tense, and the quantum leap happens in the present. Day 2. Looking for clues instead of evidence. On the second day, keep your attention open, but don't look for evidence. Look for clues, small changes, different emotions, strange coincidences. Someone might tell you something unexpected. A message might come from somewhere, or it might just be a feeling like today is different. Note every clue you see, but don't interpret it. Just write, this happened today. That's all. Because interpretation means going back into proof-seeking mode, and that mode is an obstacle. Day 2. Evening. Continuity test. At the end of the second day, ask yourself, how many times did I revert to my old reality in these 48 hours? Be honest. How many times did you look at your phone and say, it's still not there? How many times did you think, how will it happen? How many times did you say, this is who I am? Every setback is a cancellation of a leap forward. But don't see it as a bad thing. Just observe. Because observation is awareness, and awareness is the beginning of change. Look, friends, what happens varies from person to person, and desires never end. Some want little and get it quickly. Some want a lot, rush, create chaos, and unknowingly disrupt their timelines, ultimately failing and calling themselves failures. Look at successful people. They are the ones who spend a lot of time with themselves, first solving their problems internally, then holding large meetings to gather new information, and then making decisions based on this new information, internalizing them, believing in them, and starting to implement them. From the moment they start, or even before, they are enveloped in a sense of accomplishment and wholeheartedly promise themselves, I did this, I will do this. But they already feel as if they have succeeded and are happy. They also know the problems that arise along the way and move forward by finding solutions. At the end of these 48 hours, you will notice something. The quantum leap will no longer be a theoretical concept because you are experiencing it. Perhaps as a small trace, perhaps as a feeling, but you are experiencing it. And here's the main point. These 48 hours are a beginning, a trial. But you don't have to do this constantly, because once you understand the mechanism, you can apply it whenever you want. Every morning when you wake up is a turning point. Every I want thought is an opportunity. Every how will it happen question is a test. And as you become aware of these things, quantum leaping becomes your natural state. It goes from theory to practice, from practice to life. Want to try it? 48 hours? Just 48 hours. And if you try it, write, I just started in the comments. I want to see it. If this kind of content adds value to you, subscribe. Because in the next video, I will explain the continuation of this protocol. And in that video, I will show you what happens after 48 hours. That is, how to continuously leap. Don't miss it. Thanks. During REM sleep, brain activity is 30% higher than when you're awake. The question is, what is this activity doing? Are you dreaming, or are you living another life? Some mornings, you wake up, and that dream feels more real than this life. You remember faces, places, emotions, but then you dismiss it as just a dream. But what if it's not? In this video, I'll give you a 72-hour map. At the end of 72 hours, you'll see that the life you lived while sleeping wasn't a dream, but another timeline. But only if you watch it to the end, because the test in the final section will change everything. Part 1. Your brain transitions to another life. While you sleep now, let me tell you a scientific fact. During REM sleep, your brain's prefrontal cortex shuts down. This is your logic center. But at the same time, the limbic system, the center of emotion and memory, is working at full speed, more active than normal. And here's the interesting part. Why does the brain do this? What's the purpose of shutting down logic and opening up emotional memory? The traditional answer? Memory consolidation. The brain processes the memories of the day, deletes the unnecessary ones, and keeps the necessary ones. But this answer doesn't explain everything. For example, why do you sometimes wake up and remember a 10-year life you lived in that dream? Why do you go to a familiar workplace in some dreams, even though you've never seen it before? Why do you feel a deep connection with some people you've never met in your life? They call it dreaming. But can dreams be so consistent? Now I'll tell you a theory. This theory hasn't yet been accepted by mainstream science, but some results from quantum physics support it. The theory is this. Every night when you sleep, your brain places you in another timeline, a parallel reality. And in that reality, you live another life. This isn't mystical. It's very concrete, because you have memories in that life too. You make decisions in that life too. And sometimes the memories of that life seep into this life. Let me give you an example. There's a woman who wakes up every morning feeling like she's married. But in this life, she's not married. In fact, she's never been married. But this feeling is so strong that sometimes she wakes up, looks beside her, and thinks, "Where is he?" Then 3 seconds later, she realizes, I'm not married in this life. This isn't just one example. Thousands of people experience this, and it's called counter memory, a memory of something you haven't experienced, but it's so vivid it's as if you did. So how does this happen? According to the timeline skipping theory, your brain connects to another reality during REM sleep. And in that reality, you're another person. Maybe you're married. Maybe you work a different job. Maybe you live in a different city. And you live that life throughout the night. But when you wake up in the morning, your brain returns to that timeline. And most of the time, you forget that other life, because you can't carry two lives at once. But sometimes, at certain moments, it seeps in from that other life. And you say, "I had a strange dream." But it wasn't actually a dream. It was a memory from another life. Now consider this. If this is true, how real is the life you are currently living? What if this life, viewed from another timeline, is also a dream? This question is very unsettling, but it's also very liberating. Because if this life is one of many, then the boundaries in this life aren't so absolute. In the second part, I will talk about 3 types of sleep experiences, and each one does something different. 1 is brain cleansing. 1 is memory consolidation, and the other is timeline shifting. And I will show you how to understand which state you are in. Now, write your last remembered sleep in the comments. Let's see if anyone else has had the same experience. Chapter 2. 3 types of sleep, experiences, and understanding. Which type you're in. Type 1. Brain cleaning, ordinary dreams. This is the most common. Every night, maybe 4 to 5 times, your brain has short dreams. These dreams are usually nonsensical, disorganized, and strange. One moment, you're in one place. The next moment, you're somewhere else. There's no logic, no consistency. These dreams are actually the brain's garbage collection process. The brain receives thousands of pieces of information throughout the day. Most of it is unnecessary. The brain deletes it. And during this deletion process, it makes random connections. This is where these strange dreams come from. The way to recognize these types of dreams: you wake up and forget it 10 seconds later. Or when you remember it, you say, "It doesn't make sense." Because it really doesn't make sense. It's just the brain's cleaning job. Type 2. Memory reconstruction, source of déjà vu. The second type is more interesting. In these dreams, the brain rearranges past memories, but sometimes incorrectly. For example, you're in a place you've never seen before, but you feel, "This place feels familiar." Why? Because your brain has associated that place with another place. Or it has registered a place you will go to in the future as familiar. And when you go there, you experience déjà vu. The way to recognize these kinds of dreams is this. When you wake up, you feel, "This has happened before." Or you learn something in the dream, and you can use that information when you wake up. This is the brain's memory consolidation process. Type 3. Timeline crossover, parallel life experience. And here's the rarest, but most powerful: timeline crossover. In these dreams, you are living another life. And that life is as consistent as this life, perhaps even more consistent. In these kinds of dreams, you see the same people over and over again. You form relationships with them. You go to the same places. These places feel a little more familiar each time. There is a continuity. It's as if that life is continuing in the background. And most importantly, when you wake up, you feel this wasn't a dream. Because it was so real that your brain couldn't label it as a dream. The way to recognize these kinds of experiences: the wake-up test. The wake-up test. When you wake up tomorrow morning, before opening your eyes, ask yourself, from which life did I wake up? If you immediately say, "This life," you are in type 1 or 2. But if you hesitate for a moment and think of the other life, or this life, you are in type 3. Because in type 3, 2 lives seem real at the same time. And until your brain decides which one is now, both exist to the same degree. Now, in the third part, I will show you how to remember type 3 experiences and how to transfer information from that parallel life to this life. By the way, friends, if you have found this information helpful so far, I recommend that you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more information. Chapter 3. The 72-hour memory map. This protocol will last 3 nights. However, you will do something different each night. And by the end of the 3rd night, you will carry memories from your parallel life. Are you ready? Night 1. The anchor. Technique before falling asleep. Tonight, before you go to sleep, pick up an object, something small. A stone, a coin, a bracelet, it doesn't matter. But hold that object tightly in your hand. And as you fall asleep, feel that object, its weight, its texture. And repeat this in your mind. This is my anchor. This connects me to this life. Why are you doing this? because that object creates a point of connection between two lives. Even in your parallel life, you will carry the feeling of that object. And this feeling will give you the awareness of I am somewhere else. Even if the object is not in your hand when you wake up in the morning, you will remember that feeling. And this feeling will help you remember where you were that night. 2 to 3. The first 60 seconds. Rule for the second and third nights. The most important moment is waking up. When the alarm rings, don't open your eyes immediately. Wait 60 seconds. And during those 60 seconds, ask yourself, where was I just now? Who was I? What was I doing? Force the answers. Just let them happen. If a face appears, follow it. If a place appears, stay there. If an emotion appears, feel it. And very important, don't label these memories as dreams. Label them as memories, because the label determines how the brain stores them. If you say dream, the brain forgets. If you say memory, the brain stores it. After 60 seconds, open your eyes, but don't get up immediately. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at anything. Just look at the ceiling and keep these memories in your mind. Another 30 seconds. Then you can get up. But what you did in those 90 seconds connected the memories of your parallel life to this life. The memory, not a dream. Approach. Think about the things you remember from the day, but think of them as real memories, not figments of imagination. Say, I was really there. I really know that person. This may sound strange, but this approach strengthens the parallel life memories in your brain. And over time, these memories become clearer and more detailed. Finding timeline traces in waking life. One day, you will start doing something. Some moments during the day will feel like deja vu, but this time it's different because you recognize these moments from your parallel life. For example, you enter a place and say, "This looks familiar," but you've never seen it in this life. Did you see it in your parallel life? Try to remember. Or someone says something to you and you feel, this has happened before, but it didn't happen in this life. Did it happen in your parallel life? Think about it. These traces are the points where two lives intersect. And when you become aware of these points, the boundary between the two lives begins to blur. Final test. Which life is real? After 72 hours, ask yourself this question. Which life is more real? This life, or the life I lived while sleeping? If you immediately say, this life, the protocol hasn't fully worked yet. Try again for another week. But if you hesitate for a moment, if you say, both are real, then you have succeeded. Because the truth is, both are real, both are timelines, and you exist in both. This awareness reduces the pressure on life. Because if something goes wrong in this life, you can say, maybe everything is going well in another life. This isn't consolation, it's the truth. After these 72 hours, sleep ceases to be rest time for you. It becomes a time when you live another life. And that life is just as real as this one. But the real question is, if both lives are real, which will you prioritize? The life you live while awake or the life you live while asleep? Some people look forward to sleeping because they love that life more than this one. Some people don't want to sleep because they don't want to lose this life. So which one are you? And one more question. What if you are sleeping right now? What if this life, viewed from your parallel life, is a dream? Have you ever thought about that? Because maybe you are sleeping right now, and your real life is the one you'll wake up to and say, I had a strange dream. If you liked this video, write "which life is real" in the comments. I want to see it. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because in the next video, I will share more information and even more chilling truths. Don't miss it. Thank you. Your brain receives 11 million pieces of information every second. However, it only processes 40 of them. The remaining 10,999,960 pieces of information are erased. That's proof that reality changes. While you say nothing changes, reality is constantly changing. But your brain is programmed to see the old version, and you believe it. That's the problem. In this video, I'll give you a 5-day test. At the end of 5 days, your old version will die. But this will only happen when you're ready to kill it. Most people do everything to protect it. Are you ready? Take this information to the end and write "I'm ready" in the comments. Part 1. Reality has changed. You didn't notice. Now let me tell you about an experiment in psychology. The change blindness experiment. They show a person a photograph. 1 second. Then a blank screen. Then the same photograph again. But this time, something has changed. There's no car in the background, or a tree is different, or someone's clothes have changed. And the question is, did you notice the change? Most people don't. They don't see it the first time. They don't see it the second time. They might not even see it the third time, because the brain creates the illusion of consistency. It says, everything is the same. But it's not. Now apply this to your life. Every morning you look in the same mirror, the same face, the same person. But are they really the same? From last night to this morning, 300 million cells died in your body. 300 million new cells were born. Physically, you are not the same person you were yesterday morning. But you look in the mirror and say, "I'm the same." Why? Because your brain is using the old template. And this template says, "This is who you are." And you believe it. But the real problem is, the phrase, "this is who you are," is about who you were yesterday. It's not about who you are today. This isn't just physical. It's also mental. It's also emotional. It's also related to your energy level. When you wake up this morning, you're not the same person you were yesterday, but you act like you did yesterday, because the brain wants identity consistency, and that's where the bottleneck comes in. The bottleneck is this: reality is constantly in motion. You're in a frozen version of yourself. And because you're frozen, you can't see the movement of reality. You say nothing changes, but actually, you don't change. Let me give an example. There's a man who goes to work every day. The same route, the same office, the same desk. He says, "Nothing changes in my life." But really? This morning, a different car was parked on that road. Did he notice? No. A colleague came to the office with a different haircut. Did he notice? No. The light coming from the window next to his desk was from a different angle. Did he notice? No. Because the brain uses the sameness pattern, and this pattern erases what changes. It only shows what's the same. And here's a very important question. Why does the brain do this? Answer: to save energy. The brain uses a lot of energy, and if it reprocesses everything, it gets very tired. So it says the same and continues. Fast, efficient, but wrong. And you live with this wrong every day. Now let me tell you something. At least 3 things have changed in your life so far. Small things. But they changed, and you didn't notice. What are these 3 things? I don't know. Because you didn't notice. But they exist. And you couldn't see them because the old lens is still in your eye. In the second part, I will explain how to remove that lens. Because that lens consists of 3 layers, and each layer locks you into the old version. I believe you will like this informative video at the end. Subscribe to our channel now. There are many more secrets that will surprise you. Chapter 2: The 3 frozen layers of perception and how to break them. Layer 1: Past version. You're no longer that person, but you act like one. First layer: Past identity. The you of yesterday, the you of last year, the you of 10 years ago. And here's the problem. You're no longer that person, but you act like them. Because the brain wants consistency. Example: there's a woman who ended a relationship 5 years ago. And in that relationship, she felt, I'm not worthy of love. 5 years have passed, but today she still carries the same feeling. Why? Because this feeling has become part of her identity. And now, when she enters a new relationship, she brings back the old feeling. I'm not worthy of love. The new person is different, but looks at things from the old perspective. Result? The same feeling. The way to break this layer: the recognizing past version technique. Look in the mirror tomorrow morning and ask yourself, is this person the me of yesterday? If the answer is yes, ask the next question. Do I have to be the same person I was yesterday? The answer is no. But the brain says yes, because it's a habit. And to break that habit, you need to see it. This is the first breaking point. Layer 2: Expectation lock. The future is already different, but you expect it to be the same. The second layer: Future expectation. What will tomorrow be like? What will next month be like? What will next year be like? And here's the problem. The brain's answer is based on the past. Next month will be the same as last month. But that's not true. The future is not a repetition of the past, but you expect it to be. And this expectation prevents you from seeing the difference in the future. For example, there's a man who gets the same salary every month for 3 years. And now he thinks, I'll get the same salary next month. This is a logical expectation, but at the same time, this expectation closes off a different possibility. What if there's a raise next month? What if there's a bonus? What if an opportunity for extra income arises? The brain doesn't take these things into account because it expects the same. And this expectation of the same prevents it from seeing the change in reality. Change is already happening, but it doesn't see it because it's looking through the lens of the same. The way to break this layer: the zero expectation technique. Every morning when you open your eyes, ask yourself, what will happen today? But don't answer, just ask. And be open to the unknown, because change comes from the unknown. And you've shut it off by saying it will be the same. Layer 3: Identity restriction. You're protecting who you are not who you are. Identity confusion is this. This is who I am. This sentence, this belief, and this belief exists to protect who you are not. What does this mean? Like this. When you say, I'm shy, what are you actually saying? I'm not a social person. This is negative identity. You are defining who you are not. And this definition keeps you there. Because if you do something not shy, your identity clashes. And the brain doesn't like conflict. So it keeps you in your old identity. An example: there's a young person who sees themselves as a failure. They got bad grades on a few exams in school. And now they say, I'm a failure. But they get a job. A good job. and they start to succeed. Their bosses praise them. Their friends congratulate them. But they still see themselves as a failure. Why? Identity obsession. The "I'm a failure" identity doesn't accept the successful experience. There's a conflict. And what does the brain do? It belittles this experience. Just luck, it says. It's temporary, it says, because it wants to protect its identity. The way to break this layer is the "let go of who you are not" technique. Take a piece of paper. Write on it, "I am not." Fill in the blank. Shy, failure, unlucky, whatever. Then look at that paper and ask yourself, is this really me? If the answer is no, tear up that paper. Tear it up physically. Because a physical act creates a symbolic break. When you break these 3 layers, the old lens falls away, and you begin to see something new. Reality has already changed. Friends, life is actually very simple. We're just wrongly coded. And this has been the case for a very long time. It may take time to get out of this situation. For this, we need discipline and consistency. Chapter 3, 5-Day Perception, Reset. Days 1 to 2, The Difference, Hunt. The first 2 days have one task. Find what is different, at least 3 each day. You wake up in the morning, look around. What is different? Is the light different? Is the sound different? Is the air different? Small things, but find them. Throughout the day, observe people. Did someone do something different? Did they change their hair? Is their walk different? Is their speech different? Find them. In the evening, look at yourself. What did you do differently today than yesterday? Did a different thought come to your mind? Did you make a different decision? Did you feel a different emotion? Find them. And each time you find something, write it down. But just write it down. Don't interpret it. Don't say, this is good or this is bad. Just say different. Because the goal is to instill a new habit in the brain, to see the difference, to break the pattern of similarity. Days, 3 to 4 days. Identity change. Test act differently. But remember, this isn't cheating. This is trying on a different version of yourself. Example, if you're always quiet, be a little louder these 2 days. If you're always hasty, be a little slower these 2 days. If you're always serious, be a little more relaxed these 2 days. And observe. What happens? Do people treat you differently? Does life flow differently? Do you feel different? Most people are shocked by this test because they realize, I'm stuck in my old identity, and this identity is preventing reality from changing. Day 5, the final test. Is the old me dead? The 5th day is the most important test. You wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you ask yourself, I know who I am right now, but who was this person 5 days ago? If the answer is someone else, then you've succeeded. Your old self is dead because you no longer recognize it. But if the answer is it was the same person, then they haven't died yet. The old perspective is still active. And here's a warning: the risk of regression. Most people revert to their old selves after 5 days. Why? Because the environment is waiting for your old self. Your family knows the old you. Your friends know the old you. Your workplace knows the old you. And when they tell you you've changed, the brain panics. It says, go back to your old self, because it wants social conformity. But the real question is, will you revert to your old self, or will you remain in your new self? How to maintain continuity? The answer is simple, but difficult. Keep searching for the different every day. Don't give up, because the moment you give up, the brain reverts to the old pattern. And one more thing. Allow people to revert to their old selves. The environment doesn't need to change. You have changed. That's enough. At the end of these 5 days, you will realize something. Reality never stayed the same. It was always changing. But you were looking through the old lens, and that lens change was erasing it. Now, the lens is closed, and reality is emerging. Everything is in motion, including you. But the real question is, can you allow this movement, or will you freeze again? Because freezing is easy. Moving is difficult. When you freeze, everything is predictable. When you move, nothing is certain. And most people want certainty. That's why they freeze. And then they say, nothing is changing. But the truth is, you are the one who hasn't changed. See, this might be difficult for you the first time, and that's normal. The important thing is not to give up. Take a break for a few days and then continue this test. Download this video to your phone so you can watch it anytime. If you like this video, write "The old me is dead" in the comments. I want to see how many people can do this. Also, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I will explain other information in the next video. Don't miss it. Thanks. Physical constants in the universe deviate by a factor of 1 in a million, a small deviation, but large enough to suggest that reality is a code and that this code makes mistakes. You want to escape the simulation. But the problem is, the moment you try to escape, the system detects you and pulls you back. You are acting as part of the system. But what if you didn't try to escape? In this video, I will give you a 7-day hacking protocol. After 7 days, the system will try to pull you back. But if you touch the right places, it can be permanent, because reality is already breaking. You will find the breaking points. Watch to the end and take this information and use it. Part 1. 3 points where the system collapses. Now let me tell you a theory. The theory of reality simulation. But think of it in a technical sense, not a mystical one. If reality is a simulation, there is a code. Because the code is written, it makes mistakes. There are errors, there are glitches. And these glitches are where the system collapses. Now the question is, how do you find these breaking points? Answer: you see them every day. But you dismiss them as coincidences. These coincidences are actually system errors. Point 1. Synchronization error. Example: you're thinking about someone. 10 minutes later, that person messages you. You say, "What a strange coincidence." But think technically. 2 independent events, you thinking about them messaging you, happen simultaneously. The probability is very low, but it happens. Why? Because the system runs code to synchronize the 2 events. However, this code is sometimes triggered too early. They decide to message you before you think about them. But because the system works with a delay, you feel that you thought about them first. This is a synchronization error. It's a system error. And this error tells you something. There's a disconnect here. Point 2. Déjà vu. Crash second. Disconnect. Déjà vu. The feeling of, this has happened before. Everyone experiences it. But most people call it a brain illusion. But what if it's not? What if it really has happened before? Technically, déjà vu is a memory loop. The system processes the same memory twice. The first time, in the background. The second time, in the foreground. And when you experience it the second time, the memory from the first time is still there. The result? The feeling of, this has happened before. But actually, The system ran the same code twice. It crashed. And you felt that crash. That's the déjà vu crash. The second breaking point. And that point tells you the system is making a mistake in the timeline. Point 3. The lucky moment, anomaly. The third breaking point, lucky moments. Have you ever had a lucky day? Everything went right. The traffic was green. Things went well. People were smiling. The probability of everything going right at the same time is very low. But it happens. Why? Because the system ran a positive probability package for you that day. It set all the events in your favor. But sometimes this package works too strongly, and everything becomes too easy. That's the moment of chance, the anomaly, a probability error, the third breaking point. And these 3 breaking points show one thing. The system isn't perfect. It's breaking. And you can use these breaks. The concept of a breaking point map. Now consider this. If you can map these 3 breaking points where synchronization occurs, where déjà vu happens, where chance increases, you can read the system. And if you can read the system, you can manipulate it. Because you know the breaking points. In the second part, I will explain how to use these breaking points. Because every breaking point is a weakness. And every weakness is an opportunity. If you do what I say at the breaking points, you will have achieved what you want. If this information has helped you so far, please like the video and let's continue. Chapter 2. 3 system weaknesses and how to exploit them. Weakness 1. Manipulation of time. Perception. First weakness. Time perception. The system presents time as a continuous flow, but it isn't. Proof. Sometimes 1 hour feels like 10 minutes. Sometimes 10 minutes feels like 1 hour. Why? Because time depends on your attention. Wherever your attention is, that's where time flows. And here's the exploit. If you control your attention, you control time. You can slow it down, speed it up. How to do it? There's a task that takes an hour. Normally, it takes an hour. But here's what you need to do. Before starting the task, change the time frame in your mind. Tell yourself, this task will take 20 minutes. Not out loud, but internally. Then start the task. But constantly return to the idea of 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, you say 20 minutes. And something incredible happens. The task is completed in 30 to 35 minutes, not in an hour, because you've manipulated time. Here, the task is completed in 20 minutes. But if you don't give up and keep saying it, you continue to believe the job will be done. This might be to test your belief in moments like these. This isn't magic. This is exploiting the system's weakness in its perception of time. The system creates time according to your expectations. And you say 20 minutes, and it does it. Weakness 2. Exploitation of the attention economy. The second weakness, the attention economy. The system constantly tries to distract you. Because if you're distracted, you can't control it. But here's the exploitation. If I focus my attention on a single point, the system marks that point as important, and it allocates more resources to that point. Result, that point is reached. Faster, easier. How is it done? You have a goal. For example, finding a new job. Normally, you think about this goal 10 times a day, but this is irregular. Once in the morning, once at noon, once in the evening. But this is what you do. You only think about it once a day, but that one time, for 10 minutes, uninterrupted. You wake up in the morning. For 10 minutes, you focus on that task, how it is, where you work, how you feel. constantly. And then for the rest of the day, you don't think about it at all. Only those 10 minutes. Result? Because attention is focused, the system marks those 10 minutes as high priority, and it allocates resources to that goal. Within 1 to 2 weeks, opportunities related to that task begin to appear because the system is focused on that point. Weakness 3. Invalidating the identity file. The system registers you in an identity file. It says, this person is like this, and sends events that match that identity. But here's the exploitation point. The identity file is loaded when you wake up in the morning, every morning from scratch. And in those first 60 seconds, you can modify that file. How? You wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, but you don't get up immediately. You wait 60 seconds. In those 60 seconds, you ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Not the you of yesterday, the you of today. Who do you want to be? An answer appears. A trustworthy person, a successful person, a calm person. Whatever, you hold on to this answer. You feel this answer for 60 seconds, then you get up. And throughout the day, the system sends events that match this identity. Because the morning's file has been overwritten, the system has uploaded a new file. These 3 weaknesses are the easiest ways to compromise the system. But beware, the system repairs itself. It resets every day. That's why you have to start again every day. We only have one real day, and that is today. Every day is a new beginning. Every day, we complete the life within ourselves with the characters we create. Section 3. 7-Day Fault Protocol. Days 1 to 2. Identify breakpoints. The first 2 days are purely observational. You're looking for 3 breakpoints: synchronization, déjà vu, lucky moment. Note down each one you see, but just note it down. There was a synchronization at 2 p.m. today. That's it. No details, no commentary, no overthinking. At the end of the 2 days, you'll have a list. Maybe 3 to 5 breakpoints, maybe more. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you saw them. Days 3 to 4. Test the first vulnerability. On the 3rd and 4th day, choose a vulnerability, one of 3. Time, attention, or identity. Choose one, just one. Don't do all 3, because the system detects multiple changes simultaneously. Exploit this vulnerability for 2 days, every day in the same way, and observe. What changes? Small things. But it changes. If it doesn't change, keep going. You might be distracted. Days 5 to 6. Observe the system's reaction. Be careful on days 5 and 6. The system will try to take you back. How? Through old habits. You wake up one morning and forget to invalidate your identity, or you stop attention manipulation, or you don't use time manipulation. This is normal. The system tries to load the old file, because the new file is not registered in the system, but you notice, and you apply it again, because noticing is already half the battle. Day 7. Persistent attack. The 7th day is a critical day. On this day, the system decides, should the new file be accepted or should the old file be restored? And you apply it with all your might. 3 exploits at once. Time, attention, identity, all of them. You wake up in the morning. Identity invalidation. You start the day. Attention manipulation. You find a job. Time manipulation. All 3. And in the evenings, you ask yourself, was today different? If the answer is yes, you succeeded. A permanent hack. The system accepted the new file. If the answer is no, it hasn't happened yet. Try again in a week. This is normal. Getting rid of your old self isn't easy, but it's possible. The important thing is to keep going without giving up. Final warning: risk of backward patching. But be careful. After 7 days, the system might send a patch, a self-healing patch, and it could revert you back to the old file. How do you avoid this risk? Consistency. Apply at least one exploit every day without stopping, because the system accepts constant change as the new normal. But when it stops, it sees it as a temporary glitch and sends a patch. At the end of these 7 days, you will notice something. The simulation is breaking down every day, but most people don't see it because they call it a coincidence. Now you will see it because you know where it broke down and you use those spaces. But the real question is, will the system take you back? The answer? Only if you allow it. Because the system works according to your decision. If you say, the old me, it will do that. If you say, the new me, that will happen too. And here's the biggest flaw. The system doesn't know what you want unless you tell it. So you have to say it every day. Who do I want to be today? Every day, because every day is a new file. And you write that file. If you like this video, write, I rewrote your file in the comments. I want to see how many people tried it. And subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because in the next video, I will explain the system's deepest weakness. And this weakness is much stronger than these 3. Don't miss it. Thanks. It would be helpful to continue with any video that appears on the screen.